Hi, I'm Bob Srissel. I'm in downtown Seattle, and I'm going to give you an overview of the downtown bike network and how you can use it to get around the city. Let's take a look. Second Avenue is a major spine of the bike network, and is probably the most popular route taken by residents, commuters, and visitors alike through downtown. It is a two-way protected bike lane that runs between Chinatown in the International District and Lower Queen Anne or Uptown. Second Avenue is relatively flat and connects to Union Station, Smith Tower, Seattle Art Museum, Benaroya Hall, and Pike Place Market, and it reaches the light rail at International District Chinatown, Pioneer Square, and Symphony Stations, and the First Hill streetcar. From the south end, you can use routes to get to Beacon Hill, I-90 Trail, Central District, Rainier Valley, SoDo, and Georgetown. From the north end, you can get to Climate Pledge Arena at Seattle Center, Lower Queen Anne or Uptown, and a connection to the Elliott Bay Trail. Fourth Avenue is a newer but still useful part of the bike network. It is a two-way protected bike lane that runs between Pioneer Square and Belltown. Fourth Avenue is relatively flat and connects to City Hall, Columbia Tower, Central Library, and Westlake, and it reaches the light rail at Pioneer Square and Westlake stations, and the monorail and South Lake Union streetcar at Westlake. At the south end, it connects to Yesler Way along a block of Dilling Way. At the north end, it continues on street towards the Space Needle at Seattle Center. 7th and 8th Avenues are a useful pair of parallel streets in the bike network. They both feature one-way protected bike lanes, going between the Convention Center and South Lake Union, with 7th Avenue running mostly one-way eastbound, and 8th Avenue running mostly one-way westbound. 7th and 8th Avenues connect to the Convention Center and Amazon Spheres, and they reach the South Lake Union streetcar along Westlake Avenue. At the east end, they connect to Pike and Pine Streets. At the west end, they connect to Dexter Avenue, which heads north towards South Lake Union, Seattle Center, Queen Anne, and Fremont. Alaskan Way has bicycle facilities both newly built and under construction as part of the bike network. When fully complete, there will be two-way protected bike lanes and a waterfront trail running along the entire waterfront between Pioneer Square and Belltown. Alaskan Way connects to the Seattle Ferry Terminal, Aquarium, Overlook Park, Pier 62, Cruise Ship Terminal at Pier 66, and Olympic Sculpture Park. At the south end, the waterfront trail heads towards SoDo, West Seattle, Duwamish Trail into South Park, and Alki Trail to Alki. At the north end, the protected bike lanes head north on the Elliott Bay Trail to Interbay, Magnolia, Ship Canal Trail, and Ballard Locks. Yesler Way has bicycle facilities, both current and planned for the future, that will be part of the bike network. When fully complete, there will be two-way protected bike lanes running between the waterfront and Pioneer Square. Yesler Way connects to the Seattle Ferry Terminal and Pioneer Square Light Rail Station. If you take Occidental Avenue, you can head south towards Occidental Square, King Street Station for the Amtrak and Sounder, and stadiums Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park. At the west end, Yesler Way connects to the Waterfront Trail along Alaskan Way. Going east, Yesler Way heads up a steep climb towards Yesler Terrace on First Hill, Broadway protected bike lanes, and Central District. Pike and Pine Streets are a pair of mostly one-way parallel streets that function as another major spine of the bike network. They both have one-way protected bike lanes running between downtown and Capitol Hill. East of Melrose Avenue, the protected bike lanes run in both directions on Pike Street, which becomes a two-way street. Pike Street goes uphill to Capitol Hill, and Pine Street goes downhill into downtown. To help you remember which to use, just think: hike up Pike, decline down Pine. This is especially important at Melrose Avenue, where the uphill bike lane switches sides on Pike, and the downhill bike lane switches from Pike onto Pine. Pike and Pine connect to the Westlake Light Rail Station, monorail, Seattle Convention Center, and First Hill streetcar along Broadway. At the east end, Pike and Pine connect with the Broadway protected bike lanes, Cal Anderson Park, and the Union Street protected bike lanes going into the Central District. At the west end, Pike and Pine connect with Pike Place Market. Bell Street and Elliott Way together serve as an important connection in the bike network. Bell Street runs between South Lake Union and Belltown with a combination of two-way protected bike lanes, a shared-use street called Bell Street Park, and another two-way protected bike lane that is under construction. Elliott Way has new one-way protected bike lanes running between Belltown and the Waterfront, splitting into Elliott Avenue and Western Avenue, which are one-way streets. Together, they connect to Pike Place Market using Western Avenue. At the north end, Bell Street connects with South Lake Union, Seattle Center, Fremont, and East Lake. At the south end, Elliott Way connects with the Waterfront Trail on Alaskan Way. There are other streets with limited bike infrastructure that you might find useful to supplement your routes. Western Avenue runs parallel to Alaskan Way, an extra block away from the waterfront. Spring and Seneca Streets are steep, but directly connect First Hill to the waterfront. Columbia and Cherry Streets are also steep, but directly connect First Hill to Pioneer Square. Howell and Stewart Streets provide on-street connections between downtown and Eastlake Avenue, heading towards future bike lanes that will lead into Eastlake and the University District. Thank you for joining me in this look at Seattle's bike network. I hope this video helps you find some useful ways to get around downtown Seattle. If you want to see more of my content, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.